Good evening. I would say good night, but it sounds like I'm going then. I've only just arrived. I've just been on Twitter. The only time I ever go on Twitter every year, although not last year, to say I'm doing art Soundoff. I'm not going to post every video on there this year like I normally do. I've not even actually linked to any of them. I've just said it's on my YouTube, and I'm guessing if people want to, they'll find it. And if they don't, they won't. I don't mind. I'm not particularly bothered about getting this shared all over the place. I'm just taking part for the fun. And I'm trying to talk while I do some 3D again, so we'll see how that goes. However, I have a thing to talk about. I've had a lovely day. It's Friday. Friday today, like every Friday, I was looking after my son. I was looking after my son. Don't know why it came out so funny. So he is currently, particularly today, actually, a joy to be around. He is 3 3/4. Dropped 3/4 at your peril. And he is a lot of fun, but obviously he's just been through the age of 2, which can be a tricky one, and he's also currently going through the age of 3, which is similar to 2, except as our friend put it, 2 is taxing, 3 is personal, which is true. So he definitely has his ups and downs, but yeah, today was a really fun day. We went to the park. He made a lot of new friends at the park, as he often tends to. He's pretty good at that, and yeah, just a good fun day. This camera very stuff here. So what I was going to talk about, art Soundoff wise, art day, sorry, tiny fly, was being an artist with a young child, and this is from the perspective of someone that is I guess, established artist, in the sense of I've been working as a comic book colorist for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years when I had Jerzy. So, you know, kind of like, and when I say like working as a comic book colorist, I mean like commercially. So not so much, you know, doing like my own projects and stuff like that, but like kind of just doing stuff for, you know, other people, other companies, like, you know, DC Image and Titan, stuff like that. So yeah, it's an experience. You will, I mean, I'm speaking obviously very much from the perspective of comics, specifically. One of the specific things about comics is it doesn't have a great deal of payment opportunities. There's not a lot of wiggle room or like room for going up or any of that kind of stuff. So one of the things that you may find with comics, from the perspective of a parent, even as someone that has been doing it for a long time, is it is in your financial interest to take care of the childcare yourself, where you could otherwise be doing work, because the childcare will probably cost you more than the work will pay you, almost certainly, in comics. That's not necessarily true in other art fields. I would imagine it can vary substantially from job to job, but in comics it's unlikely to vary that substantially from job to job. So yeah, I've done a lot of the childcare, which means I've obviously had to do a lot less comic work, particularly in the first year or two. I did very little in the first year, to be honest. And part of that also means that as an artist with a young child, if you're working commercially as an artist with a young child, your other half, you would have had the young child with, is almost certainly not an artist. You'd be struggling to feed each other, let alone the child, if you were both artists, I'd imagine. But it does mean, particularly with COVID and everything, that we had a lot of opportunity. I mean, my wife certainly had a lot more opportunity to spend time with our son than she otherwise would have done, which was really nice. But I personally obviously did as well, and because we also couldn't get childcare for the first 2 years, partly due to COVID, partly because we didn't necessarily want it because of the expense, there was wiping out any work that I would have done anyway, and then partly because of kind of distance to get to childcare, and like who was available and who we knew could be coming available and all this kind of stuff. So it meant that we spent a lot of time together in the first couple of years, which was really nice, and it means that we've managed to have this kind of like really good relationship develop, which I think may be one of the benefits of being a artist parent. You maybe will find that you might actually have more time to spend with your children, particularly when they're younger. This is what I've found. There's more time to spend with your kids because actually you can't make doing the work. So right now, obviously I do work, but so right now though, I have 3 days a week, almost guaranteed for most of the year, when I can actually definitely work, which is when he has childcare. So that's 3 days a week, and that's because in the UK you get government sponsored childcare. We still have to pay extra on top of it, but it works out at a rate that actually works from you being able to do work and still not just be shoving money down the toilet for no good reason. The other days, so the other 4 days, like occasionally I'll get some cover from maybe a grandparent, or maybe Max will be available, but like, you know, my wife plays roller derby as well, so she has roller derby training on the weekend, and so, you know, generally speaking, like I have 3 days, unless the childcare is on holiday, which is 2 weeks of the year, and also at Christmas. And then also obviously sickness. If he's ill, he can't go, and then I'm the one that will obviously be looking after him. Sorry, I am realizing I'm probably not saying anything very interesting, because I'm trying to do 3D and talk, and I thought it'd be a good experiment. What is playing out in my head is I'm doing neither well, because I'm currently trying to reverse the normals on this thing, and I cannot for the life of me talk about something else and get to the option where I'm going to reverse the normals. And it's been a while since I've actually had to reverse the normals on something, and I'm thinking, oh, you know what, that isn't even the problem. The problem is, I'm looking on my other screen, there are no UVs. I'm like, why isn't it showing the UV pan? It's because there are no UVs. If I just come over here and I go, let's create some UVs, boom, there we go, there's some UVs. Excellent. See, talking, not good for my 3D work. That's what I was saying. Also, 3D work, not good for my recording art sound-offs. Just makes me babble even more and talk about things even less relevant. So yeah, the experience of, I've got to stop trying to do this now. The experience of being a parent, my camera's over here, whilst also being an artist. I don't think I'm going to post this one. I don't think it's any good. I'm going to leave this in if I do post it though. I'll just put it up anyway. Alright, if you got this far, well done. I wouldn't have. Bye. Oh, no more posts today. It's too late. It's already a terrible post. I will probably post some stuff tomorrow. I won't do 3D while I'm recording, I promise. And also, I do have some comic stuff to do tomorrow, so maybe I'll do that. But yeah, so kids, they're great, really good, very fulfilling, lovely to have around, and worth everything. And it is a heck of a balancing act, being an artist and a parent at the same time. Trying to stay an artist whilst being a parent, rather than just becoming a full-time parent, is is difficult at a younger age. Once they get to school, I'm fairly sure that it all balances out a bit more. But with the period when they're really little, plan to do very little artwork, but also savour the time when they're really little, because they're adorable. Yeah, that's it. Alright. Peace.